Commission. Today is March 13th. Everybody stand and do the pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We'll do roll call. Just state your name.
Wayne Birkin.
Harold Goodland.
Stephanie Wood Burnett.
And Ricky Jackson. I know that Brian Hester will not be here.
Haven't heard anything from the other two.
Okay.
They might be running a little late.
For approval of the agenda, we have an additional request to initiate the process to amend current zoning ordinance relating to River Ridge zoning. Can I get a motion to add that to the agenda?
I'll move the motion for that.
Okay.
Second.
Alrighty. Okay. I think you have before you the approval of the minutes from January 30th. Not long ago.
Yeah.
I know. Any questions or comments? No, can someone make a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Harold. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. No public comment?
Nope.
No old business?
Nope.
All right, so we have new business. Request for updated plat approval. Come on up and state your name, please.
Good evening, I'm Steve Marshall, I'm a land surveyor with Jacoby Tombs and Lands, 1829 East Spring Street in New Orleans. So I'm here this morning on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission seeking final plat approval for the Depot Street Development Area plat. I'm sure you're all familiar with that project, but it's been several months since we were here for preliminary plat approval back in September. So just quick refresher about that piece of property. Generally, it's located between Main Street and State Road 62 and Harrison Street and Level Street. Currently, the property is comprised of 17 different parcels and also the bed of a couple public streets and alleys that were vacated in recent months. So the purpose of our plat is to create a single consolidated lot of all those properties. That single lot will be comprised of a little bit over 9 acres. It's shown on the plat, and also the plat will allow us to create several easements that are needed for public infrastructure for sewers and drains that will serve the property and also extend through the property. So again, in conjunction with the development's name, Forest Edge, this plat that we're seeking final plat approval is for Lot 1 of Forest Edge. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions? You did say you're going to vacate. Do we know what's being vacated though? or-
They already were.
They-
That occurred in the past. Yes,
Okay.
there were some streets and alleys that were vacated.
They were.
Yes.
I knew we had
those
so no
beds-
new ones.
Correct.
Okay.
Ricky, most of those were the old railroad tracks and some
Right.
alleyways up to those tracks.
Okay. I just didn't understand if we were adding some, so thank you. Any questions? If not, can we have a motion to approve the updated plat, making it all into one, correct?
Correct. I'll move to, for that motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have the request for approval of the updated Depot Street Development Plan.
Good afternoon, I'm John Campbell with Heritage Engineering.
Also with me tonight is Clayton Pace, President of Development for Denton Floyd. So you all have seen this project several times. I'll just kind of run through the highlights again and then ask for your approval of the development plan. It is, again, this is part of the same project that you just approved the plan on. It is a 9-acre parcel. It was previously rezoned for a PUD for multifamily development for an apartment community. It will have a pool and a clubhouse and 248 units and 407 parking spaces. I have with me, if anyone would like paper copies, full-size development plan, as well as a draft of the landscape plan. So this is the color rendering. I think most everyone has seen this already. The biggest change that we made to this plan was actually rotating that larger building that you see kind of there toward the top of the page. And that building was rotated to place that clubhouse out front, kind of create a focal point entry. And that was done as an amenity, as well as to minimize some retaining walls there and just in general work better with the detention basin. So as I said, there's 3 buildings on site. The three-story buildings at the bottom have 24 units each in them. And then the larger building that you see there to the top of the page is a 4-story building with 200 units. The project does include a generous landscape and open space amenity area there with the pool house. We include a dog park, as well as enhanced buffers along Highway 62, Harrison Street, and generally all along the perimeter. So as I mentioned, we kind of reorientated this to have the clubhouse there in front with the pool to the rear, and then the way it's kind of positioned now, it really sets it up that as you come in the main entrance there off Highway 62, you get a view of the clubhouse and then the building in behind it. I just want to touch on some of the amenities of a Denton Floyd project. You'll hear me use the term, or I've used the term in the past, it's kind of a resort style clubhouse and pool. And the way they obtain that is through enhanced landscaping. These are just kind of illustrative photos that show the intent. It's not necessarily this exact clubhouse, but I will have some pictures of that in a moment. So the pool, the resort amenities, it has the pool in behind the clubhouse, and then it will include kind of some enhanced pavers. It includes an outdoor kitchen area. One of the benefits of this project is they create a community space to bring people together in the community or in the apartment community. So you may have, or in this clubhouse resort pool area, you'll have a community fire pit, like a pergola seating areas, a little small putting green for guests to use. And then here is an actual picture. This is a rendering of the actual pool and amenity space, but the clubhouse, the Denton Floyd clubhouse there shown there to the right. And then this is the larger wrap building there and behind it. And then this is another view showing the clubhouse kind of out front with the wrap building kind of off in the distance there. And then lastly, these are the other 2 buildings that are located along Highway 62, the 3-story buildings with the 24 units each. And then the last thing I'll mention, just as a refresher, they have agreed to improve, widen in a portion, and restripe and improve Highway 62 so that it is a 3-lane section. And this will tie in with a state project to widen Highway 62 headed to the north and east from town. So that it really concludes my presentation. I know you've seen it before. But I'll be happy to answer any questions, and then again, if anyone would like to see a paper copy, you can certainly hand those out.
I like that you moved the clubhouse. I like that because then it's not a building or the back of the building, so I like the thought that went into that, so thank you. The clubhouse, will it be for rent or for out in the community, or will it just be for?
So when I use the term community, I really mean the apartment
Apartment,
community, the
okay.
residents of the community, yes.
And how many
I-
people does it hold?
I don't know the occupancy of
Okay.
it, Jackson. I can find that out.
It's not that, I was just wondering.
And typically, a clubhouse in a community like this wouldn't be to bring every guest together. It's really just, if you're a tenant of an apartment and you want to have like a small gathering, a birthday party or something,
That's right.
in that scenario, you could rent it, and it probably wouldn't be more than 10 to 15 people, I'm
Okay.
guessing, but.
That's correct. And they have hours of operation as well.
Okay.
Oh, on the dog park and around the back of it, what kind of fencing are you having?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Clayton, but typically around the dog park areas, it'll be, it's not a wrought iron type of fence, but it'll be that style fence, kind of the slat, it's like an aluminum.
It is aluminum, same fence as we have around the pool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what fence?
No.
Not a wood fence. I will clarify, there are fencing requirements specific to some of the residential properties that we abut. Those will be wood, solid wood, or wood or vinyl. The material hasn't been decided, but it'll be a solid screening fence to those residential properties, as well as the landscape planting requirements.
I like the vinyl a little bit better than wood.
And they may very well do that, so.
They last longer.
Yeah. And then we talked at one of the meetings, people asked about a barrier between the apartment complex or kind of, so that's where you will have trees and we talked about a wall, but I don't think talked about a wall like around Depot Street and that for the people who live right there on it, but I think now it's just gonna be right here. Isn't that where we talked about, where we asked about
So there.
for the people that live right
Right, so to those residential zone properties, that's where we'll have that solid screening fence.
Okay.
Which would be the barrier to keep people from just walking through.
Okay.
And then additionally, there will be some landscaping with that to kind of soften the effect of that and make it nice and attractive. So,
Tony, we're adding sidewalks. We're redoing the sidewalks at Pike Street. When you turn onto Harrison, will those continue on to get into the apartment complex?
That's our plan.
It's not, we haven't done that.
Right, no, that's in the
We've
plan.
discussed it, but we've not passed it.
Correct.
Right, but that is, because I think that needs to happen so that they're not walking on the road, that there's
Correct, yeah, that's.
sidewalks for that.
And then we have provided internally sidewalks throughout to stub out and be able to connect to the public sidewalks along Harrison Street. I apologize, I forgot the name of the street to the top right corner,
Madison.
Madison.
Okay.
Yeah. And then down along Depot Street, I think we kind of did a sidewalk stub there too.
And just the one top right corner, that's for the dog park, correct?
The dog park is actually located down along Depot Street now.
Do you see the sign that says dog park?
Oh, duh. That sign?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was up here and
It
now
was,
it's here?
It
That's
was,
correct.
yeah. We
What
moved it
made us
down.
change that? Do we?
It was just a better orientation for being down there with the maintenance shop. And it was tucked back in that area versus up top. It just worked out to be a little bit better for our parking requirements. You know, there was not a lot of parking down there, so we switched the two and we were able to enhance having more parking up top by relocating it down to here.
Yeah, if you envision that earlier slide, and Charles might could toggle back to it, but the way the units are broken out is those bottom two buildings have 24 units each, whereas the top larger building has the 200 units. So it made sense to move that dog park down there to where you had less parking demand and have those spaces more on the north side there, which is what Clayton was kind of clarifying.
Will that have a fence, a higher fence, like a six for the people who live right behind that? I
Yeah,
guess.
does it have the privacy fence?
It does not have the privacy fence because it directly abuts the actual right-of-way, and then the homes are on the other side of the right-of-way. But it will certainly have that aluminum style fence to kind of protect, keep the dogs in the contained area. And I wouldn't personally recommend a solid privacy fence there, because that's along a public roadway, so you really want it to be open. And then additionally, don't think of it as like a dog kennel type facility. Usually the people will go there with their dogs, so I don't foresee it being a nuisance with dogs barking or anything like that.
So that's the Streets' house,
Correct.
correct? Tony?
Yes.
Okay. So 2 houses is what it will affect. Okay.
But as John said, it's a dog park, it's not a dog kennel.
Yeah.
So the people are there with them.
It's a fair question to say, is there some kind of screening, but for most of the time, it'll just be a nice grassed area. Occasionally people will take their dog in there,
Okay. Any other questions?
What's it?
Yes. I'm glad to finally see a final.
Yeah, we are too. And one of the other things is John was alluded, the detention basin does hold water, and we will have a fountain there.
Oh,
Yeah, and so it will be quite a statement for coming in there, seeing the clubhouse, seeing the structures, and then having the nice fountain in the middle.
wow, I didn't recognize that. So that's, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that it's finally come to fruition and we finally get to see the final thing.
We are too, and
A long time.
it's come together, and the other was not working. It just was something about it that everybody didn't like. And then it's funny, we just took it and rotated it 90 degrees, and it all popped.
I like that much better. I mean, for the aesthetics alone, I like it much better, so.
It did.
All right. Any other questions, comments? So I make a motion to approve, please. The request for the updated street development plan.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Wayne,
Second.
second by Stephanie. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, Tony, you want to talk about the River Ridge?
Sure. Over the past year, I've been working with Mark Hildebrand on our zoning in our part of the River Ridge, because, we kind of have a joint zoning there, but they have different standards than we have, so pretty much their standards are a lot harder, so we've been kind of going with what they have. But it's not on paper, so it's mostly just us saying, okay, that is approved, this is approved. The problem we were having is like this board would review one of the plans, do one of their plan reviews, and then have to get it approved, and at the same time, they had to get it approved over at River Ridge, which is duplicating things. So we've been talking about, how do we get it all under one pretense? Well, it's come up now about our zoning. Okay, we have zoning called IR that was passed in 2005. That was part of the interlocal agreement when they set up the board. And that calls it for an IR as far as Charlestown is concerned. But when they did the 2016 zoning ordinance, it didn't get put in there. So it's kind of a standalone ordinance, and it's not really defined real well. So now what they're asking is if this board will make put forward a motion to initiate working with River Ridge, the Reuse Authority, and everybody over there to kind of get that zoning correct and get it in line with what they do, and we'll also put wording in there about how we go about, the rules and the policies and who reviews what. Like right now, we pretty much take what they review because they're paying their engineers a lot of money to review their plans, and we get them and review them. But if we approve their engineers, which they're all certified, then that saves us money also. So, but the zoning's the main thing we need to work on, and so they're asking the board if they would initiate working with them to try to get that zoning right. It'll be brought back to this board, of course, before it gets taken to the council.
And if I understand it right, Jill and them, they thought that it was already in effect.
Right, yeah.
And a couple of new companies are looking at us, and
Right.
in their investigation, they
Yeah.
realized that we were not a part
Right.
of that. So
It
that's
gets
a-
confusing, yeah. I go to meetings over there with new companies, and it does get a little confusing. We can explain it away. Most of us say, okay, we pretty much agree with whatever River Ridge is doing, because we have representation on the board. But it still causes some confusion, and in this business, if you cause any kind of confusion, you can lose a business. So that's all they're wanting to do is try to get that zoning correct. So we'll bring it back in front of this board. They just need something from this board to say, okay, go ahead and initiate working with them. Any expense will come out of my 2218 fund anyway. So,
Oh, you're paying for it?
not all of it, no, all we're paying for it, no, all we'd be paying is that.
You said my. I was like,
Well,
yeah.
anything we have to pay. Most of it's gonna be pretty simple though.
Jill did call and she did suggest that we do this. She's with the Wheatley Group. She helps us with our redevelopment.
So it makes it easier.
Yeah, she says it makes it easier and it was something they thought was in place. And for bigger businesses, we
Right.
need to have it in place.
I've had to explain it many a times,
Yeah.
and it's like, Mark's been great about it, River has been great about it, but, we need to have something on paper.
So does the plans come through us, or does
They
it?
they still come through us, we still review them,
Okay.
but I'm cheap, so I want them, when they get an engineer, I just let's look at them.
So can we make a motion to start the process to change the current zoning ordinance related to River Ridge?
I'll make that motion.
First by
I'll second.
second by Wayne. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right. That it?
That's it.
All right, that's all we have. Anybody else have anything?
My phone, I'm glad that thing didn't ring there to shoot me.
All right, somebody make that motion.
I'll make it.
Oh, he beat you. Got a first one.
I was waiting.
We all looked at it. We got a first by Wayne. Give me a second. All right. We're done.
Now I turn mine off, I let it sit right there.